what I was thinking about. Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. See, that's anchoring. When you say talk to the hand, it's like I'm not even listening to you. You're gonna talk to this, not this.
I mean, it's relatively the same concept when you talk about how you learn in general. Like, as a teacher, one of the
Hmm.
things you have to learn is how you learn. How is it that people learn? And and we have something called schema, which is what we pull from, right? So you have your brain kind of compartmentalizes into different things. And when you see something new, your brain automatically wants to categorize it into something that you already know. And so, and that's called schema. So, I mean, what Ace
That's
is saying
that's that's
for sure.
powerful. That's powerful. And because the way we teach at the kitchen table, that's why the words that you say, that's why the presentation is important, right? So it's visual, auditory, right? Some people, sometimes I don't know if you've ever seen it, they grab your paper, they want to look at it, right? So it's incredible that you guys were talking about. I joined in the last 5 minutes of the stuff that you were reading. Um, it kind of goes hand in hand with one of the books that I read called The Four Agreements, and I'll share this with you guys. But um, Shonda, if my daughter, I give you an example. I don't know how she does it. She didn't get it from me. She definitely didn't get it from Anita. But if she sees something like she likes to build stuff, right? She builds a lot of stuff out of cardboard boxes. I mean, she made this gigantic thing. She likes those anime shows, right? She creates her own wigs and costumes, and um, so she's studying to becoming a robotic engineering. She wants to build robots, right? And specifically, I don't know where the hell she got this from. Nanotechnology, right? Those little tiny robots that go into your veins and then clean stuff out. So, in this business, you build a lot of connections. So one of my clients slash former recruit works at the National Institute of Standard and Technology, literally across the street from my office, where they develop nanotechnology, right? And so I'm always impressed. Listen, this is a true story. She can take a look at, let's say, um, printer. Let's just say a printer. Like, look at a printer. In her mind, she can take it apart, which is really weird because that's actually Nikolai Tesla. You got to read that book. Nikolai Tesla, A Man Out of Time. You got to read that book. Guys, reading is so phenomenal. As a matter of fact, I'm competing with Miguel um, Lazo, trying to get as many books in my bookshelf as he does, right? Every successful person has a library in their house. Okay. That's why there's no libraries in apartments. There are libraries in mansions, right? Because leaders are readers. But anyway, listen, I'm going to talk to you guys. Anyway, she takes it apart, Shonda. She takes the whatever object she's doing, and then she draws the plans from breaking it in her mind on paper, and then she puts it back together and creates the art, right? So she's definitely somebody who's a visual learner. I'm an auditory learner. Like I can listen to an audio. I listen to a preaching by this guy, and you guys got to really listen to this. If you're a believer in Christ, if you're not, well, you still should listen to it. Um, I sent it to a couple of people here at the office, but it's called how do you see yourself? Let me share with you guys so you can look it up. And then my training is super short. Okay, so we're not going to be long. Um, it's called it's called come on, where is it? That's not it. Sorry about it. You guys got to listen to this because it kind of shifted some thinking crap that I had in my mind. Oh, how God sees you. Um, I don't know his name. It's called How God Sees You. Um, Learn to see what God sees when he looks at you. It's based on the Psalms 6. Unbelievable. I don't know what his name is. It doesn't tell me his name, but that's what the video looks like. You really, really have to see that, okay? I promise you. I'm also
Hey,
reading
that's Myron Golden.
Myron. There you go. He was
Yeah, Myron
complaining
Golden.
how his brothers will call David and something, and his mom calls him Myron, right? Um, but you gotta hear that. It's your self-esteem. If you have a low one, and everybody has low self-esteem, okay? It'll raise it up like crazy. I'm reading a book. A friend of mine wrote this book called Ashes. I'm reading this book right now. And I saw him a few weeks ago. He's a bishop of our, organization of our church. It's called Ashes. And the subtitle just blew me away because this is what's going to happen in Primerica. The subtitle is When the Fire That Drove Your Vision Now Consumes You, meaning now it's like kicking your ass. Okay. Um, and then the other subtitle is called Finding Life and What's Left. And I mean, I'm in the introduction, um, and I'm like, damn, bro, this is next level stuff, right? It's all about getting better, guys. It's all about, I have a joke, most people, I bought a book, How to Improve My Memory, Shonda's, but I forgot where I put the book. Okay. and you know, all right, I'm not much for joking.
I lost mine too.
I lost my book, man. I can't find it. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen, Matt, right? Can I do it?
So I think.
All right, cool. Now I'm on screen too.
Yeah,
All right, so let me ask you this, Shonda. The
you
only
didn't
reason
share
I
yet if you meant to.
no, not yet.
Okay.
I want to ask a couple of questions real quick. Um, let me pick on somebody else that's fairly new. Let me talk to Tracy. Not pick, but talk. Talk to Tracy. All right. So what's the purpose, Miss Tracy, of can you guys see my screen or no?
Yes, now we can.
Okay. What's the purpose of reading a book?
To be exposed to the insights that the author has.
Okay, be exposed to the insights. Okay. Anybody else want to share it with me? What's the purpose of reading a book?
Learning,
Get
broadening
new
your
ideas.
knowledge.
Learning, getting new ideas, fantastic. Now let's think about our business. What's the purpose of reading a book if you're in our business?
Get better at something.
Okay, to improve an area of weakness that can actually slow you down in being successful in the business.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you have leadership problems, hang on, I keep looking away because I have multiple screens. There we go. But if you have, for example, I can't retain people, then you got to learn how to recruit, train, and retain. There's a book called that, Recruit, Train, and Retain. Um, if you have a problem, communicating your message, um, if you have a problem if you're struggling, listen, you guys saw me on Saturday, right? Last Saturday, you saw me. I, I felt broken. I felt like something was broken inside of me. And this is a guy who doesn't listen to music. I don't have cable TV, but guess what happened? I need to read something on how to regain my energy, regain my focus, right? And boom, this book pops up. And then he talks about in this book, oh man, it's so good. Um, he talks about a mirror I had to face when all I had left was smoke and ashes. Now I'm offering that mirror to you, to the tired leader, to the overlooked pastor, to the spiritual son or daughter hiding behind the perfection. This is your invitation. not to perform, but to present, not to impress, but to be honest, not to die on the altar of obligation, but to heal. I have loved God, but I've also served him out of guilt. I've obeyed out of fear. I've preached as his servant, but forgot I was his son. So I'm like, this is a guy who struggled so many years with his identity as a bishop, right? You think a bishop, man, I'm telling you, it's incredible when you're, hey, listen, I don't know how to close a sale. I don't know how to ask for the IBA. Personal development means you invest the money in the areas that you're weak in to help your business grow and also grow as a person, right? Be a servant mindset person. So one of the books that I've read, now let me tell you, can you see? No, am I on the right screen? Can you see the
Yep.
whole thing or do you see the other ones?
We see the book.
Okay, perfect. So let me tell you, Matt, how I came across this book. I
Okay.
used to love watching ESPN
Yeah.
because I couldn't watch the whole games, right? So
Yep.
then they give all the highlights and stuff, Matt. And then one morning, I get up. I usually watch MSNBC with the financial news, or I used to watch ESPN. Now I don't watch anything, so I don't know who's playing, who's what, who sucks, right?
Right.
Now, Shonda, I come from a very competitive background, right? My sister played in the WNBA for 3 years. She played in the Puerto Rico national team. She made the Panamanian Olympic team. I played Division I football, right? And so we come from very competitive. So I can relate a lot to sports, right? Um, look, Shonda, I still have my bowl ring, okay? Have it, but this is the one that I like the most because this one actually means cash. This means the past. I don't wear this one ever. So I was listening to ESPN, Beth, and when I was sitting there, one of my heroes, I actually have this book in my coffee table at the house, is Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady. Okay, I'm telling you, Prince, Tom Brady. Everybody looks at him now. Most people don't know his story. Most people, they kind of heard of it, but like he was the um he was the backup quarterback in his high school,
Yep.
and the backup quarterback in his high school didn't put him in the game once, even though they were 0, even though they were 0-10, they didn't put him at
Yeah.
all in the game. Finally makes it to his senior year, plays a few games, and then the coach is selling him to other universities, right? They used to send
Yeah.
clips. By the way, I told this to Allison. I don't know if Allison's on, but I told this to Allison. Man, sending video highlights of that stuff works. So they send video highlights, they sent it out, and maybe at the end I'll share my son's little highlights. He's at Penn State right now. He's excited. It looks like he's got a good shot of he's made the team, but he's got a good shot maybe being a starter. So I'm really excited about that. Um, and so Tom Brady comes on ESPN, right? You guys, you got to watch the Tom Brady story. It's an ESPN story. So he comes up, Tom Brady comes up, and he goes to Michigan. He was actually the third string, like literally, gets picked last in the NFL draft. Literally, the last pick of the NFL draft was Tom Brady. He goes up to the Kraft, to the owner of the team, shakes his hand and say, "I just want to let you know, I want to let you know that you made the best decision. I'm Tom Brady. You made the best decision in picking me in the draft." Can you imagine that? And he was a backup quarterback to Drew Bledsoe, who was a Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so Tom Brady, they ask him, so what is your routine? What is it that you do to get you ready for the season? And he said, I've been reading the same book for the last 22 years. since college. He's been reading the same book every year for 20 years, and it's called The Four Agreements. I literally got up, wrote it down, ran to the computer, went to Amazon, and bought the book. Okay. The introduction is a little wacky, so I'm not gonna talk about the introduction. So, but I want to share with you what I've learned reading this book. So, if you see any spelling errors, I'll blame it on Shonda. Okay. I don't have spell check. So the purpose of reading a book, Tracy, is not only for you to grow as a person, but can you teach it?
That's right.
Oh, if you're going to have a team one day, you've got to be able to pull something out of the what do they call it, the rabbit hat, right? You got to be able to pull something out. When somebody says, "Man, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that," you say, "You know what? I know exactly what we're going to talk about." Right? I have notes. I was actually going to cover something else, but since you guys were talking about certain things about the spoken word and things like that, Jordan Belfort had this whole webinar, and I know don't watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street, please. If you want to go to heaven, don't watch the movie. Okay. I watched it. I was really excited because I know he's a big NLP guy. That's the most disgusting movie. Actually broke the world record for the most F-bombs ever in a movie. So don't watch it. Just watch his training. And he actually talks about breaking destructive beliefs. And I got all these notes and stuff like that. So anyway, let me get started here. So the goal here is to see Tracy. I read the book. I've heard the book, right? Because whenever I'm driving long distance, I like to listen. Like Beth, right now, my car is my sanctuary. So what I do is, if I'm not in a meeting, I'm listening to an audiobook, boom, 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 like all the way down, all the way back, right? The guy, Myron, right? I went to go drop my son off at the at school, and then all the way up, I heard it. All the way back, I heard it. I heard it already 3 times, and I said, you know what? I need to create a presentation because some of the stuff that he says is completely awesome. So Tom Brady is a big fan of this, and Tom Brady is a champion. 9 Super Bowls, right? 5, I think 9 out of 9 they won 6. I mean, like the guy has won everything he can possibly win in life, and he didn't have. I mean, if you watch his recruiting video when they were recruiting him to the NFL, he's slow. He doesn't have a nice body. He runs the 40. There's 300-pound guys running the 40 faster than Tom Brady,
Yeah.
right? The guy can't run. But one thing that he had was he was intelligent about
Yep.
the game. He was super
Yep.
smart about the game. I mean, there was guys faster, throw stronger. I mean, Michael Vick at that time was like the man, right? He could throw a bomb. But I said to myself, Prince, if it's good enough for Tom, I got to read it. Okay. So number 1, the 4 agreements. Okay. Number 1, the book says, and again, it's short. Okay. So be impeccable with your word. That's the first agreement. So what, Matt, do me a favor. Look up the word impeccable, the exact definition of the word impeccable. While Matt looks that up. So in other words, speak with
Flawless.
integrity. Say that again.
I'll say flawless, impeccable.
Flawless, right? Impeccable, clean.
Yeah.
Of behavior, performance, or appearance in accordance with the highest standards of property, faultless.
Dang, that's deep, right? So Tom Brady used to spend, and again, I followed him. I'm like, like people are like gaga goo goo over artists. I'm not, but him, because okay. So what does he do during off season? He was so impeccable with his word, right? So say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself. Okay. So when you read the book says you will never, Shonda's my buddy. That's why I like her so much. I hope you feel the same way about me, right? Shonda, if I start talking crap about Shonda, man, Shonda's only like 5'2". She's never gonna make this. Tall people, tall women make it in the business, right? And if I start, she's, oh, Shonda, again, all three of my brother-in-laws are black. Okay, so, oh, I'm too black. I'm too Puerto Rican. If you start saying those things, and I don't come from the right background. What happens is you will never accept that from anybody else. So why are you talking to yourself that way? I'm too skinny, or I'm too fat, or I'm whatever it is. One of my affirmations this morning, I have one affirmation: money appears at my command every morning. Money, and then I have here written: I accept, I deserve, I allow. Right. So using the right words, it's a scriptural based type of thing, man. When there's power and death in your word. Avoid using the word speaking against yourself or to gossip. You know, gossiping. Gossiping is illegal. I don't know if you guys know that. Talking about somebody else, it doesn't matter how you feel. I'm just saying somebody said something, and I'm not even going to say it. Right? Somebody just got sued for 17 millions for defamation, meaning you spoke something bad about that person, and they won. That person won. So don't gossip. Don't talk about other people simply because you're a hater, right? I have a little picture in my phone. Is called Haterade, right? And it's like when somebody starts talking, I send them. I said, man, you just put away the haterade, man. Rejoice in other people's successes. I rejoice in anybody else's successes. I rejoice. I said this before. I rejoice in Beth's success. I mean, come on. Some of you guys are full time, and she does more part time than you guys do full time. I mean, the lady is a workhorse, and she deserves to be every dollar that she makes. She deserves it. Right? So never gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. I know that sounds kind of like, how do you call that, Gordon? Hippie, right? It is no, but it's the truth. My father on Sunday was preaching, but understanding it was based on Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 2:9, and he was talking about, Christian always recites that verse: no eyes have seen, no ears have heard, blah, blah, blah. But the next verse, Christian leaves it out. The next verse is the most powerful one. But it would be revealed to you, even though no eyes have seen, no ears have, but it's going to be revealed to you, right? So my father actually started crying. I've only seen my father cry like 3 times, and his passion, it was like, I don't understand. God, why do you love me so much? Why me? Why me? Right? And so it's you got to show love across the kitchen table. You got to care more about the family across the kitchen table. You got to say, you know what? If this family doesn't get served, this family is done. I told that. Oh, here's my success story, Gordon. I went to the store yesterday. One of the things that I actually talk to people. I care about people. I really do. Even if it's the lady at the cashier. This is the lady at the cashier. I went to the store, and she was pregnant. She's not pregnant anymore. Hey, how's your baby boy doing? Oh my gosh, Mr. Ace, I can't believe he's already going on 2. I said, well, that's fantastic. Healthy, everything good, everything's awesome, man. Fantastic. Most of it I fist pump and I leave. But yesterday I was compelled, Matt, to say, hey, remember, we got to start saving money. I got 2 kids in college. It's not cheap, right? Remember, you got to. Oh, wait. I work in the areas of personal finances. I help families like yours how to save for the future and things like that. That was my line because I used that. And then she comes and says, what do you think about a Roth IRA? I said, what do I think? I think it's amazing. You have one? No, I was thinking about one. I said, okay, well, And I was about to walk away. I said, no, hang on a second. Whatever you do, because she's Asian, whatever you do, do not invest in IUL. She goes, what do you mean? Yeah. She's 29 years old. She's putting $179 a month in her IUL for her future and $179 a month for her son, who's 3 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And without even me asking, Matt, she opened up her app. I took a grocery bag and I started showing her how IUL works. Oh, here's my application. She opened up the app, which was perfect because it was the policy. I said, do you know what this means? Account value? Yes, you have $1,900 account value. Do you know what the loan value means? No, what does that mean? That means you're going to take out only $380. You know what surrender value means? No, that means if you cancel the policy, you get nothing. And I showed her right there. She goes, oh crap, I got one for my son. How much you put into that? $8,000.
And you got
I
500.
said, listen, you don't have to do any business with me, but I have to educate you.
Mhm.
Give here, write your number down here. Her name is Melka. Melka, write your name here. I set the appointment, right? And I said, I promise you, be impeccable with your word. I'm not going to ask you to cancel anything. All I want to do is educate you. You have to love. This is a young lady trying to survive with
Well,
two kids,
trying to
both under 5 years
provide a
old.
future.
Yeah, that she's trying to do, she's spending $400 a month, and she was about to spend another 179 for her infant baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and she said, and my agent won't call me. She'll say, hey, you know what? Wait a few years, you'll see their account grow and that kind of stuff. So you gotta love people, man, and you gotta use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Yes, I'm gonna get paid, and I want to get paid. But you got to do that. Number two, recognize the creative power of the language. It can build or it can destroy. Okay, we know that. Okay, so I got to stop saying okay. I've caught myself. Yeah, I say okay. That's too much. Agreement number two, it says don't take anything personally. I think you guys were talking about it a few minutes ago about people criticizing you and things like that. Guess what? Maxwell says it, hurting people hurt people. And so point number two says nothing others do is because of you. So don't make it personal. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. Listen, and again, I know all of you guys that have kids feel the same way about your kids that I do. I would die for my kids. I will kill you for my kids. I mean, but I was telling Anita yesterday, I don't know what I did right because, like I don't know what I did right. And she goes, it's all God. It's all God. I said, I understand, but I got to raise my kids, right? And they're amazing. Like my daughter she's dating this Russian kid, right? He's a fitness competitor, those guys that perform, I don't know, he's a muscle head. He's not like a bodybuilder, but he's a fitness guy. And such a neat guy. And my daughter says, hey, I'm gonna go to DC with his name is Alex. I'm gonna go to DC with Alex. And okay, just be safe. Don't go anywhere. DC right now is a hot mess. Okay. Don't go anywhere that you're not supposed to go. No, we're just gonna go at Arlington Airport, DCA airport. We just want to have a picnic. And then like 20 minutes later, she comes back. I'm like, what are you doing here? You should be halfway down to DC. She said, well, I just came to grab my Bible. A teenage girl. I'm like, man, at 19, I was making out with Shonda, okay?
Mhm.
I mean, it's like, what did I do right? I don't know. It's all you, right? Don't take anything personally because there's a lot of kids that are all messed up simply because they didn't have a father, they didn't have a mother, right? Um, the situations are really, really rough. I had a lady on my team that was molested by her father. And I'm like, she told me this. I'm like, how do you? She goes, it was a projection on him, not me. So I never took it, that would destroy anybody. Would you agree with that? So when you are immune, listen, let me start. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to opinions and actions of others, you won't be a victim of needless suffering. Okay.
That's true.
And
So true.
it doesn't matter. I don't, your opinion is exactly that. Yours. It's not mine. Right? That's why they call it, Tony, self-development, not other development. There's a book called You Can't Steal Second with Your Foot on First. Right? He says, when you hit the ball, I can't drag your ass to first base. You better run, right? And go to second base, go to third, right? And so um replacing what is in my notes here? Freedom comes when you stop seeking validation or feeling attacked by others' judgment. Okay, so I listen. I
Say
want
that
my.
again, that part.
It's just some side notes here. Freedom comes when you stop seeking validation or feeling attacked by others' judgment. Listen, Beth, I want Gordon to like me, but I don't need Gordon to like me. You with me? And so I say the same thing about my team. I want my teams to like me, but I want them more to respect me in the direction that I'm going. Are you with me? So, Christian said it. Christian said it to me so many times. He goes, listen, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you get FI. And in the process, we'll be friends. I know that sounds harsh, but Bruce Clark is even more harsher. Her. Okay. Bruce Clark actually said, I'd love to hang out with you, but the places I like to go eat and hang out, you can't afford.
You're not financially compatible.
You're not financially.
That's what he says.
And you know what I said? I used to get mad when he said, Ace, you're a good kid and you're a good person, but we can't hang out. And I appreciated that because I said, you know what? I went to a restaurant. I said, Bruce, I want to sit down. I want to take you out to lunch. Now, he thought he was going to pay. I said, you're not going to pay. I'm going to pay. I'm going to take you out to lunch. I'm going to pay, right? So you got to get immune about people, what they say about you, seeking validation. I want Bruce to like me. I want Christian to like me, but it's what I feel more about myself. Because the moment you're looking for the external validation, guess what's happening? Then you take crap personally when they don't treat you the right way. You take it personally. It's like, man, this person,
That reminds me of old story of Bruce, man.
man, I'm telling you, man.
He's genius.
He's a
That
genius.
man is genius. On the story you said he took you out of lunch. I went out with lunch with him and I said, I'll pay it. You know what he told me? He said, Tony, I have seen your paychecks, man. I know.
I got POL. I know what you got paid last month.
Ooh, that hurt. I said, whoa, I got to get to work.
Yeah. And
Only
you know
coach
what?
can do that.
And it's the same thing, guys, with our teammates. If you invite them out to lunch, they feel like you make money, so you should pay. That's not how it works. Anyway, let's just keep going. Don't make assumptions. That's a big one, man. That's again, one more agreement and I'm done. Oh shoot, it's already 9:50. Okay. So find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. So my side note it says here, ask most conflicts arise from assumptions and misunderstanding. I already said that. Replacing assumptions with clarity builds stronger relationships. So be clear. This is our expectation. Let's not assume anything. My expectation is I learned this from Lisa Jones. Can I assume that if you put your paperwork in, you're going to go ahead and get that license? Right? There's clarity. Can I assume if you're going to put your paperwork in, can I assume that you're being clear, right? You're not making the improper assumptions. They are if you're not clear with your communication. So you can't assume they know. They don't know. See, Beth is still learning. And I only see like 4 people on my screen. So those are the people I'm calling. So Beth is still learning. If Beth was on my team, you're on Gordon's team. Gordon, I promise you, Gordon doesn't assume you know all the answers. Are you with me, guys? So just be clear. So that way, your base shop, and by the way, the bigger your base shop gets, the more drama is going to come in. I promise you. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, you got to there's another book called Rhinoceros Success, right? Where a great book is, these rhinoceros have like thick skin and little ears, right? Real thick skin and little ears. And why little ears? Because I don't hear that bitching and moaning that's coming in from the drama that people are coming to your base shop. And so one of the things that I started implementing is I'm not a counselor. Even though I have a license to be a counselor, I'm not your counselor. I'm not your local bank. I can't lend you money. I won't lend you money. Okay? Right? We have to be clear, and so there's no assumptions ever. Now, I do spoil my team because every Saturday, Tony knows this, every Saturday I bring either breakfast or lunch. I learned that from Noemi Rubio. Like every time you go to her house, man, she has caterers sitting in her massive pool and serving people. She goes, I just love it. And I'm like, me too. I thought that was bad. No, if it doesn't hurt your bank account, take care of your people. Look out for your people, right? Don't make assumptions. Last one is always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. Now think of Tom Brady, right? Greatest game ever played was versus Atlanta Falcons for the Super Bowl, and how it was. Listen to this. This is a true story. Forgot the wide receiver, short white dude, Matt. Edelman. And they were down 28-7 going into the half. Atlanta was already celebrating. And Edelman is sitting on the bench and they caught him on audio. He goes, we got Tom Brady. They're down 28. Everybody's saying, oh, they lost and stuff like that. He goes, we got Tom Brady, right? And so Tom Brady knows how to play under pressure. Do we know how to play under pressure? I can honestly tell you guys, I'm a guy that if you know me, I carry my emotions on my sleeves, okay? Tracy, I don't always play good under pressure. I don't. Sometimes pressure immobilizes me. You with me? But I stay, how do you say this? I stay, I should coffee before it gets cold. So under the circumstances, simply do your best. You will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Okay? You're going to have regrets. However, what can I do today? I heard something this morning that said, it was command, don't ask. Audio that I was listening to. Command, don't ask. Ask tells your mind you're begging. Man, if I could just make $1,000 this month, and I'll be the happiest. Man, if I can do this, I'll be that. Don't ask, command it. I read a book for men. It was called Men's Diary. You notice how I'm getting all these books, Matt, in my brain? It was called How to Be a Man That Commands Respect, Not Demands It. right? So when you do your best today, if you do your best today, I promise you, you're not going to have any self-judgment. Man, I wasted another day. The audio I heard this morning said that it was, you know, you wake up. My father taught me this. When you wake up, I have breath in my lungs. I have an aunt that's dying right now of breast cancer. Even though she beat it 25 years ago, it came back aggressive. 25 years. Um, And she goes, as long as my eyes open, I know I still have another chance. Right. And so to close out, guys, write each of the agreements on a separate piece of paper. And for each one, look back in your life years ago or the other day and write down one example where you did not follow the basic premise of the agreement. Okay. Examine the overall situation, take a partial look at your behaviors. Your behaviors has a lot to do with what you do every day as out of sync with agreement, and then theorize about how things would have been different if you've been able to uphold that particular agreement and write it down. Like, what would have been different if I didn't stop the way I was thinking? Shonda, Tony was talking about he's going to have the best cash ever, right? My best cash ever was 44,900. Okay. Um, and I'm trying to think. I'm preparing for this for you guys. I'm trying to think of, man, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Right? Teaches that. What was I doing? What was I thinking? When you close 5 recruits, man, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Why was I doing that? What agreement did I accept? What agreement did I reject? Right? And so that's important, right? And then for a minimum of 2 weeks time, keep the 4 agreements in the forefront of your awareness. Like, man, am I impeccable with my word? Right? That's why when I tell my kids I'm leaving the house at 8:30 a.m. to go to church, I'm leaving at 8:30, not 8:35, not 8:37. I teach my kids, you have to be impeccable with your word. If you say, Dad, I'm going to go with you, Dad, I expect you in the car as I'm rolling out, right? So it's important. Devise some way of continuously remind yourself of the wording and the intent of each. A rubber band around your wrist, a note, or something. That's Tony Robbins. He goes, every time you have a negative thought, pull the rubber band. I can't be thinking that anymore, right? Do something to remind you, okay? And last, at the end of the 2-week period, review your time with the agreements. Did you feel calmer, right? You got to know, like, man, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm not worried. And I'll close with this. Anita, we'll talk about my wife real quick. By the way, in exactly 8 days, we're going to be turning 25 years married. So that's an accomplishment of itself. I thought she would leave me after like 6 months, but he didn't. Um, and I promise you guys, and I'll close with this. Um, I don't know what happened to my wife. She's gone through a transformation that it's almost like bugging me. Like, no. And guys, I'm not a male chauvinist, okay? But I'm like, I'm the man. I'm supposed to be getting better, Miguel. I'm the one supposed to be. Man, she's gotten so good at being at peace. And she told me yesterday, I haven't heard this in a while. She goes, man, Ace, you got this. You got this. Yeah, Nina, but it's like, oh, I'm stuck at $14,000 in premium. I'm stuck. You got this. You got to remember. This is what she told me yesterday, Miguel. You got to remember who you are, bro. Remember who you are, right? And so breathing life into your partners, reading and getting better is absolute crucial for your success, right? All of this was about people skills. Okay. So thank you. Gordon, back to you, boss.
Great job.
Awesome stuff.
Now, who wants to read more now? ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Where's